أكمل الكتب.
Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I trust that you are well this fantastic, amazing day. All right, I've been sort of conducting a little experimental, a little, well, what are we going to call it? Supersize me kind of experiment. You remember the guy who did Supersize Me documentary? He was a vegetarian and then decided to eat like 90 meals in a row at McDonald's, and he said yeah, he felt like crap. And then that was supposed to tell us all to avoid McDonald's because it'll make you feel like crap. Like somehow we didn't know that if we ate a lot of McDonald's or a lot of fast food or a lot of grease or a lot of that we wouldn't feel like crap. So he decided that he was going to eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at McDonald's for 30 days in a row. After not eating that crap at all, the horrible shock was just he got very sick. Yeah, and he's passed away now. I think he got cancer. Poor fellow and poor family. Uh, anyway, so what I decided to do was, in the past few days, I decided that I would scroll social media, and I have always scrolled um, Instagram and Facebook, of course. So I decided that we would do Twitter, X, whatever, and TikTok. And I've been doing that a lot in the past 4 or 5 days, just to see what's the vibe there, and the vibe on both of those apps. If there is a push to ban these apps for whatever reason. The push to ban TikTok has got to be for some really nefarious reason that they're really, excuse me, I'm dealing with the stream here, that they are trying to really horrifically steal our data more so than Facebook or more so than Instagram or more so than X, because the level of toxicity is equal. I have. Oh, somebody's trying to call me. I have for the past 3 or 4 nights just been scrolling Twitter. I'm just going to call it Twitter because it's easier to say, and all I've really found is a whole crap ton of divisive posts, and I mean that from everybody. Everybody, a lot of stuff misleading. Everybody. I just read or scanned a post from somebody that is who's upset somehow that democracy. I mean, here's the post title: "Democracy ends in the Senate." Horror, horror of all horrors. Yes, sure does. Democracy ends in the Senate because for a couple of reasons. Well, what do we know? That every state gets 2 senators. Even Montana, even Wyoming, even the states with no people in it. Because the other representation comes from I don't know where, boys and girls? The House of Representatives. Which is why New York, Florida, California has a lot more representatives than Wyoming. Some of those states, like Wyoming, have one representative, one, where California may have 40. Now, why would you post such a thing? It isn't like you don't know. See, and can I, for a second? It isn't like people don't know. They do know. They most certainly know. But they are trying to cause trouble. These are people that we used to call, when I grew up, instigators. Instigators. The people who weren't really in the fight, but they wanted to see a fight. But they didn't want to be in it. You know why they didn't want to be in it? Because they can't fight. Because they can't fight. But they wanted to see one. And they love the power and the dopamine rush of causing as much commotion as they can. And these people live and thrive on social media. The level of toxicity, because that person, an instigator, was always a very toxic person. That person was never a person who was a uniter. That person was never a person who was pleasant. That person was never positive. That person was never an encourager. That person was never, even as a small person, even as a youngster, that person was always mean and toxic and cowardly. Always. Because they didn't want to participate. They, like I said a second ago, they wanted to see a fight. They didn't want to be in one. They wanted to see a fight. They wanted to see other people fight. They wanted to see other people get in trouble. They wanted to be entertained. But they didn't want to be in a fight. So when this person posts this, reposts this ridiculous article about democracy dies in the Senate, they just want to stir trouble up. They know better. They do. And when I scroll Twitter and I see things from people on the right, they're every bit as toxic. There's this one person who has a channel. I think that their last name is Chang. It's Chinese, but it's the most middle school, sophomoric account that's on the interstate. I mean, on the internet. It's constantly talking about the way that somebody looks. That post, and I've seen it. Oh God, I've seen it 50 times in the past 3 days, where this person is like tattooed and he's got all sorts of piercings everywhere, and it looks ridiculous. Would you hire this person? What's the answer? Maybe. Depends on what you're hiring them for. And I know some of you are like, what? Let me tell you. 2 Christmases ago, I just put my microphone down. I just put my coffee down in front of my microphone. Hang on a second. Sorry for the noise. We're still looking for a coffee sponsor, by the way. Couple Christmases ago, my wife wanted, and for years she has pierced ears, but she only had one hole in each ear. But she wanted a second one, and she asked me, she wanted that for me for Christmas, or her birthday, I remember. Because her birthday is so close to Christmas, and then we have Valentine's Day, and then it seems like a week later we have Mother's Day. Anyway, and we, my son and I fail at every single one of those. Not that we're not trying, but we do fail. In any case, so I didn't know. So somebody said, why don't you go to one of the tattoo places? And I was like, because in my brain, I see a tattoo place as somebody, just a bunch of freaks, and it's probably dirty, and you're probably going to get an infection, and that's me. That's my preconceived ideas. Now, a lot of you who go to these tattoo parlors, and they're like little medical clinics. Everybody's certified. Everybody's, the place is spotless and is clean. Is as clean as an operating room. This place was not like an operating room, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. In my head, and it was part of a chain. I'm not going to mention their name. It's part of a chain. You've seen it. mushroom cloud. Um, and we went in, and the lady was, and the lady who did my wife's ears, she was very pleasant, very kind. Explained the whole thing about keeping it clean and the whole nine. It wasn't like she went to some pimply faced teenager in the mall. In a kiosk down in the center of the mall to get her second. No, went to a person who had done piercing before, and this young lady had tattoos, and she had piercings. Not as bad as, or not as much, I should say, as the person in the meme. But I'm thinking, yeah, she would have kind of fit in there. So it depends on what you're hiring them for. But the post is meant to do what? The post is meant to be toxic and divisive. What I'd like to offer is something different. I would like to offer this. Let me move this camera because this has been driving me batty. I know, didn't seem like very much. Just better for my neck. It's simple. My friend, who used to be the bass player at church for me, the sheriff's officer, and he had a great phrase, and I don't think he made it up, but he said it all the time, and it's stuck with me. Eat the chicken and throw away the bone. Eat the chicken and throw away the bone. And all that means is this. Find out what the important part is, and the rest of it, the crap, the stuff you can't eat, the stuff you can't digest, throw it away. And I think that a lot of us, especially on the right, because that's the people that I see most often, are trying to think that everything is edible, and that not everything is. Some of these posts from these people who say stuff. Robert De Niro is big on Twitter right now. That same, 5-minute tirade about how he thinks that our government is going to vanish from the earth if Trump is reelected president. I don't know why anybody. First of all, I don't know. First of all, I don't know why anybody gives a rat's ass what Robert De Niro thinks. Can you tell me? Can you tell me why anybody outside of his immediate family gives a rat's what Robert De Niro thinks? And why is his little tirade all over Twitter? I just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And I got my new mouse. Let me show you my new mouse. It's cool. You can't see it on the camera, but it's got colors. The Bluetooth mouse. There's a little red, and that changes colors. It's cool. Anyway, rabbit trail. Why does anybody care? And why should I care? Because the fact of the matter is that it was this morning until I actually clicked on the audio. As there, this group of people leading Robert De Niro up to this microphone, so he could say terrible things about Trump. Okay, but again, the divisiveness and the toxicity that somehow, if this person is elected president, here we're talking about this. Remember anybody old enough to remember 2016? Any adult old enough to remember 2016? Where Trump was going to get us into World War III. The stock market was going to crash. There would be famine in the land. You remember? If Trump was elected president, remember? You remember that there were no new wars started? Did you also remember that there was economic prosperity in a lot of places where there hadn't been economic prosperity? Were they all due to Donald Trump being president? No. And that's my point. That's a rational viewpoint. No, they were not. Do presidents luck up sometimes, and are in office during times of economic prosperity? Yes, they do. Do presidents have any influence in this economic prosperity? Yes, they can. They can. Do they always? Not always, but they can. See, now you can't, I guess you can get mad at that take if you want to, but you know it's true, right? So why does anybody care about, you know, the doomsday prediction from Robert De Niro? Why do we care? And again, I saw it again and again. All these memes of this celebrity and this celebrity and this celebrity threatening to move to another country, Canada, ostensibly. Why do they always choose Canada? You know why? Because it's close to their money. That's why they choose Canada. No one ever says, well, I'm gonna move to Gaza. If Trump gets elected president, I'm out of here. I'm going to Gaza. I'm gonna help the Palestinians. Why don't they say that? Why aren't there plane loads of these protesters on these college campuses going to Gaza, flying into these mostly Muslim countries, headed to Gaza? Why are they not? Because they're not serious. They're the bone. Throw away the bone. Eat the chicken, throw away the bone. Do not participate in the divisiveness. And the other side of all this is, don't participate. Don't retaliate. Just don't. It's what was mentioned to me years ago as pig wrestling. You get dirty because you end up saying all sorts of stuff that you would not normally say, and you would destroy your testimony. And you know what? Pig likes it. The pig wants to wrestle. And you get dirty. So the best thing to do is not to do anything. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. If I could just counsel people just to be quiet sometimes. Heck, if I could counsel Trump just to shut up sometimes. You know, a lot of times other people will make your enemy will make your argument for you a lot of times. If you believe what you're really saying a lot of times, you will see it come to fruition. And your enemy will make your argument for you, and you don't have to. I also saw something a few days ago about not arguing with idiots. Don't do it. First of all, you're never going to win that argument. I learned that here when I was running for county commission. Now, I'm not saying that all the people that I argued with or discussed or they were my political opponents were idiots, not by any stretch of the imagination. But this is a general principle. If you learn that someone is locked in, if they say to you, why are you a Republican? Republicans are all racist. What do you say? What I learned to say is, in my experience, I don't find that to be true. And then you'll find out that people are saying stuff like, what about this? What about him? What about that? What? In my experience, I find that not to be true. And then you can't argue every single point because they want to drag you on every single solitary person. They want to drag you on Trump. They want to drag you on Marjorie Taylor Greene. They want to drag you on something that, I don't know, Paula Dean said, 75 years ago. And then you get in the whatabout game, and you can't win that game. You can't win that game. It's a lot like the object lesson that you see in church a lot of times when people are trying to help people. When girls go on missionary dating, you know what that is, where they're going to help this young man, come to the Lord. Well, if I'm standing on a chair and I'm trying to pull somebody up and they don't want to get pulled up, it doesn't take much for you to get pulled down off that chair. It doesn't. And it's hard as heck to pull somebody up on the chair with you. So unless they climb up on their own volition, let them be. It's the same thing when we're talking about these arguments. Just don't have them. I said my piece. In my experience, I don't find that to be the truth. I've not encountered that. I'm sorry that you've encountered that. I've not encountered that. My association has to do with economics, or my association has to do with whatever. There you go. I'm not here to let somebody else define what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. You got me? You feel me? So the idea is, but social media, and I mean it, Twitter and TikTok are the worst. By far the worst. The only one that I think I enjoy now, because I can really change it, modify it to my liking, is probably Instagram. On my Instagram, I don't see nearly as much drama. I communicate a lot more, with my friends, even more so than on Facebook. It isn't as on my phone. Here's my phone. It's not nearly as easy to use, I guess, because if I do any real typing, or so it's not quite as easy. But I find that it's a lot less stressful. It doesn't make me feel as bad. Like I've been treated like a garbage can with a dirty, with a hairy lid. Right now, not such a hairy lid, right? Where these other apps, and again, even Facebook, especially Facebook Reels. So if I can advise you, and I can't because you won't listen. If you're like me and you sort of got your little social media addiction, your drug of choice right now should probably just be Instagram, because you can modify it a lot easier. I've got like 7 or 8 Instagram accounts. One is for my flight simming. One is for my music studio. I'm a saxophone teacher, and it pretty much stays in line with that. I don't have to deal with a lot of what you see on TikTok lives that are just people, obviously, who were not hugged enough as a child. So toxic. So terrible. Or you could just do something else. You could just watch Florida State. Get this right. There you go. Florida State Seminoles. There you go. You just watch sports or something. Read your Bible. Something. Do something else. Anyway, got to get out of here. I was testing vMix. I think that I signed up for a trial, and I've said this a couple times. I think I've signed up for a trial, and I didn't cancel it. So now I've got all the vMix stuff. If you've used vMix before and you've gotten use out of it, please put it in the comments down there, because if I'm paying for it, I want to get the most out of it. So right now, hopefully I'm streaming to both YouTube, and it seems like I am because I'm watching it over here on my other monitor here, and Facebook. Let me see if I can, before we before we bail out here. Sorry for the noise. I'm trying to find my mouse. Yeah, my new mouse I just showed you. There it is. Let's see if I can. Hopefully, we're broadcasting or live streaming to the. Let's see here. Oh, that's Paul. Remember our friend Paul Swanson. Paul Swanson of the Swanson Report, and we are live streaming to both places, both YouTube and to Facebook at the same time, and that's really, really beneficial that we can do that. That makes the workload a lot easier. So we appreciate being able to do that. If you want to help us with the cost of vMix, you can. You know what? You can't. Never mind. Anyway, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.